Hi, my name is Rick Nelson. I've been coming to True Hope Church all my life, in fact, even before I was born. And I'm sitting here in my dining room between two of my favorite paintings of the Wood River Valley in summer and winter. I hope you all are doing well on this beautiful new week that's just like every other week we've lived for the last several weeks. We've been talking about and hearing some great sermons about reentry. And I was asked to give some thoughts related to that for a devotion this morning. We've all been pondering a little bit of our anxiety and lack of peace. Bruce talked about anger and bitterness. And we all want to get these things out of the picture as re-enter some sort of normalcy. Hopefully, when we re-enter, we'll be a better version of ourselves. Hopefully, we will have grown to have more peace, less anxiety, very little anger, and diminishing bitterness. But taking things like bitterness and anxiety and anger out of our lives is difficult. In my opinion, the best way to get rid of these things is to add to our lives those things that are God-sponsored, some activities and some thinking that is God-sponsored. Not adding to our lives those things that are sponsored by our world and our weird culture that we live in. We're going to look at a really great passage of Scripture. It's in 1 Peter this morning to see what medicine God might prescribe to get rid of all this angst in our life as we re-enter. It's in 1 Peter 3, 8 to 12. Now, Peter has just finished 2 chapters of some very helpful but very direct and difficult instructions about getting along in the world we live in as Christians. I'll enumerate, I've paraphrased them a little bit, but here they are. One is to do great deeds in front of the world so that all could see. 2 is to submit gracefully to the government. 3 is to honor all people, even kings who are unreasonable. We are to submit to bosses, even the bad ones, who might make us suffer unjustly. And Peter goes on to explain that husbands and wives ought to treat each other with respect and honor, even the ones that are hard to live with. Now, Peter, after this very direct and countercultural instruction to us, comes down to a couple of verses that I really think are great. They're the 2 best verses to memorize I can think of. And we can get advice from these verses straight from the heart of God. These are the deeds and the attitudes to add to our lives to give us that re-entry power to thrive. Yeah, that power to thrive. Here it is. They speak for themselves pretty much from verses 8 to 12. Peter says, be harmonious. That means don't be contentious and argumentative. Be sympathetic. That means don't be judgmental. Get into somebody else's skin and have empathy. And be brotherly. That means not cold and standoffish, but loving. Be kind-hearted. That means not short-fused and quick to criticize. Peter says, be humble in spirit. That means not having that spirit which thinks that somehow we're special, we're better. And Peter says, and to give a blessing to someone who insults you or does something bad to you is right. That means don't give an insult back. Then Peter quotes one of my favorite verses from Psalm 34. It's one of the best quotes in the Bible. Here it is. Let me read it to you. I wrote it down from the Bible here. For he who desires to love life and see good days, let him keep his tongue from evil and his lips from speaking deceit. Let him turn away from evil and do good. Let him seek peace and pursue it. For the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are open to their prayer. But the face of the Lord is against those who do evil. Wow. We're looking for re-entry. This part of 1 Peter gives us a lot of great instruction. You guys have a wonderful day. Enjoying your family and the Lord.